Hey everyone, I'm Travis Spivey, joined my son,
Jordan Spivey, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our awesome science videos.
In today's video, we will go over the basics of cancer and its harmful effects on the body. So let's do this.
Our learning targets for today are: number 1, I can describe what cancer is. Number 2, I can explain the factors that cause cancer. And number 3, I can explain the effects of cancer in an organism. And number 4, I can describe symptoms of and treatments used to treat cancer.
Cells do not live forever, and they will reach a point where they will divide through mitosis or die through a process called apoptosis. Cancer cells are the exception. These cells do not die and divide uncontrollably as they crowd out healthy, productive cells. Cancer can have many causes, but most are thought to be related to carcinogens in the environment. Carcinogens are chemicals that can damage DNA and interfere with a cell's normal cycle, which disrupts the cell's ability to control when and how often it divides. Normally, the body has checkpoint systems that regulate the cell cycle to prevent cells from dividing out of control. Normal cells divide and reproduce about 50 times and then go into automatic cell death, which again is called cell apoptosis. But in the case of cancer, the checkpoint systems fail and the cells don't get the message to go through cell apoptosis. Instead, these cells continue to divide in specific parts of an organism's body. Wherever they continue to divide has a major impact on the organ or organs in that area. This is also how different types of cancers are named. For example, cancer cells that are located in the lungs cause lung cancer. This will have an effect on an organism's ability to breathe, which will make it difficult for someone to properly exchange carbon dioxide and oxygen in and out of their lungs due to the cancerous cells located in their area. Some types of cancer cells often travel to other parts of the body through blood circulation or lymph vessels, which is known as metastasis, or they have metastasized to other parts of the body where they begin to grow. This form of cancer is referred to as malignant cancer. Generally, cancer cells develop from normal cells due to damage of DNA. Most of the time, whenever DNA is damaged, the body is able to repair it. Unfortunately, in cancer cells, damaged DNA is not repaired. People can also inherit damaged DNA from parents, which explains how cancer is passed from generation to generation in a family. Many times though, a person's DNA becomes damaged by exposure to something in the environment, like smoking. Now let's take a look at how cancer works. Cancerous transformations result from changes of the DNA and the genes that control the cell cycle. Two types of genes normally control the cell cycle: proto-oncogenes, which start cell division, and tumor suppressor genes, which turn off cell division. These two genes work together. Proto-oncogenes turn on cell division when the body needs to repair or replace tissue, and the suppressor genes turn off cell division when the repairs have been made. If the proto-oncogenes become mutated, they become oncogenes, genes that lead to uncontrolled cell division. Mutations in the tumor suppressor genes result in the cell not having the ability to turn off cell division. Oncology is a branch of medicine that deals specifically with cancer.
Cancer is usually caused by mutations. Mutations are random errors in genes. Mutations that lead to cancer usually happens to genes that control the cell cycle. Because of the mutations, abnormal cells divide uncontrollably. This often leads to the development of a tumor. A tumor is a mass of abnormal tissue. As a tumor grows, it may harm normal tissues around it. Anything that can cause cancer is called a carcinogen. Carcinogens may be pathogens, chemicals, or radiation. Let's discuss the different types of carcinogens that can lead to cancer, starting with pathogens.
Pathogens are bacteria, viruses, or other microorganisms that can cause disease. The mutations that cause cancer may occur when people are exposed to pathogens. Pathogens that cause cancer include the human papillomavirus, otherwise known as HPV, and the hepatitis B virus. HPV is spread through sexual contact. It can cause cancer of the reproductive system in females. The hepatitis B virus is spread through sexual contact or contact with blood containing the virus. It can cause cancer of the liver, which will affect the body's ability to remove waste and detoxify its internal environment. Now let's take a look at chemical carcinogens.
Many different chemical substances cause cancer. Dozens of chemicals in tobacco smoke, including nicotine, have been shown to cause cancer. In fact, tobacco smoke is one of the main sources of chemical carcinogens. It can be argued that tobacco smoke is the main source of chemical carcinogens. Smoking tobacco increases the risk of cancer of the lung, mouth, throat, and bladder. Using smokeless tobacco can also cause cancer. Other chemicals that cause cancer include asbestos, formaldehyde, benzene, cadmium, and nickel. Now let's look at cancer-causing foods.
Many of the foods we eat today are high in carcinogens and are known to cause cancer, such as processed meats, red meat, alcohol, sugary drinks or non-diet sodas, fast food, and several other commonly eaten foods. So what types of food do we need to be eating? That's an excellent question.
Now let's move on to radiation. It might be fun to lay out in the sun to get a nice suntan, but getting too much sun can be very dangerous. Overexposure to sunlight raises your risk for skin cancer. Forms of radiation can cause cancer, including ultraviolet or UV radiation and radon. UV radiation is part of sunlight. The sun produces ultraviolet rays that are powerful enough to penetrate through your skin, which can lead to skin cancer. Skin cancer occurs when errors or mutations occur in the DNA of skin cells. The mutations can cause cells to grow out of control and form a mass of cancer cells. It's the leading cause of skin cancer. Radon is a natural radioactive gas that seeps into buildings from the ground. It can cause lung cancer.
So now let's take a look at some of the common types of cancer. Cancer is usually found in adults, especially in adults over the age of 50. The most common type of cancer in adult males is cancer of the prostate gland. The prostate gland is part of the male reproductive system. Prostate cancer makes up about 1/3 of all cancers in men. The most common type of cancer in adult females is breast cancer. It makes up about 1/3 of all cancers in women. In both men and women, lung cancer is the second most common type of cancer. Most cases of lung cancer happen in people who smoke. Cancer can also be found in children, but childhood cancer is rare. Leukemia is the main type of cancer in children. It makes up about 1/3 of all childhood cancers. It happens when the body makes abnormal white blood cells. Sometimes cancer cells break away from a tumor. If they enter the bloodstream, they are carried throughout the body. Then the cells may start growing in other tissues. This is usually how cancer spreads from one part of the body to another. When cancer metastasizes or spreads to other parts of the body, it can be very hard to stop or control cancerous growths. Now let's talk about the different ways to treat cancer. If leukemia is treated early, it usually can be cured. In fact, many cancers can be cured, which is known as remission if treated early. Treatment of cancer often involves removing a tumor with surgery. This may be followed by other types of treatments. These treatments may include drugs known as chemotherapy and radiation therapy, which kill cancer cells. The sooner cancer is treated, the greater the chances of a cure. This is why it is important to know the warning signs of cancer. Having warning signs does not mean that you have cancer. However, you should see a doctor to be sure. Everyone should know the warning signs of cancer. Detecting and treating cancer early can often lead to a cure. Some warning signs of cancer include change in bowel or bladder habits, sores that do not heal, unusual bleeding or discharge, lump in the breast or elsewhere, chronic indigestion, difficulty swallowing, changes in warts or moles on the body, persistent cough or hoarseness.
In summary, cancer is the uncontrolled division of abnormal cells in a part of the body. Whatever part of the body the cancer is in will affect those areas' proper functioning. Cancer is caused by mutations which can be caused by pathogens, chemicals, or radiation. Cancer can be treated with surgery, drugs, and radiation.
And that's our video for today. Now let's test your knowledge to see how proficient you are with describing and explaining cancer, its causes, effects on the body, and symptoms and treatments by taking our video quiz.
Use your electronic device to scan the QR code at the top right of your screen, or you can click the link in the description box below the video to take the quiz.
Remember, 80% or higher for proficiency. Record your results on your proficiency sheet, and if you don't get it the first time, you better keep going because it's not over until you win.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our awesome videos.
Peace and have a positive, productive day.